Yo, what's good, party people? We are live in the building, man. Happy New Year. We are live in the building. Happy New Year. Y'all see the description. Impromptu live. Impromptu live. Impromptu live, yo. Happy New Year. Impromptu live. I ain't done this in forever. Impromptu live. The question is, I'm supposed to be live, but I don't see myself as live yet. That's a shame I ain't done it in so long. That's a shame I ain't done it in so long. Now the question is, I said I was going live to my channel. All right, so if I click on this, yeah, I'm supposed to be live on my channel. It says streaming. All right, I got one person says viewing. Yo, I really can't see myself though. That lets you know I've been away for too long. But Happy New Year, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let me pull up the comments. I ain't done this in so long. It's been a minute. Yo, if you watching, let me know where you watching from. Let me know where you're watching from. I can't see nothing. It says I'm live though. Okay, I see it now. I see it now. Got it. New timeout links. All right. It says I got 2 people watching. What's good, party people? Holla at your boy. You know what I'm saying? Let me know you in the building. I miss y'all, man. I miss y'all. I miss y'all. Your boy's back in full effect. Just want to do some catching up. You know what I'm saying? Talk to my people in a while. See what y'all got going on. Who is in the building with me? That's all I really want to know. Who in the building with me? Who in the building with me? I'm just doing a little bit gameplay. You know what I'm saying? On the PS5. Who I got in here rocking with me though? That's the real question. Who I got in here rocking with me though? That's the real. Kind of dark in these streets. Lighten myself up a little bit. Oh man, all right, y'all can't even really see what I got going on. It says I got 2 people watching. You know, holla at your boy. If you can hear me, drop a 1 in the chat. If you can see me, drop a 2. If you can hear me, drop a 1. If you can see me, drop a 2. Let's go ahead, man. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, man. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. Matter of fact, let me go to preview mode so y'all don't see me doing nothing crazy. It's been a minute, man. I'm excited to see faces in the place. I've been gone since July. Woo, July walk? Yeah, July. Well, why you been gone so long, bro? Since July though? July, my guy. July. It's a shame, y'all. It's a shame anybody be gone that long, man. What in the world could you be doing that's that important that you abandon us? You know what I'm saying? But holla at your boy, you know. Holla at your boy. I ain't doing nothing. I got some Madden going right now. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can actually, I'll publish it so you can see exactly what I got going on. Y'all know what it is. Streaming. We still streaming with ECAMM. Streaming with ECAMM. Still got the Sony ZV-E10. Still got the Sigma 16 millimeter. Still going into the cam link. Actually got my gameplay going into the Rode Streamer X. I'm looking forward to getting the Mackie mainstream though. I'm really looking forward to getting the Mackie mainstream. Let's see who's online. I'm really looking forward to getting the Mackie mainstream. But yeah, okay. We got a couple of people online. But yeah, man. What's going on with y'all? I got some big things coming this month, going into next month. Got a lot of products in we need to review. Still rocking pretty much the same thing that you all have kind of seen me with. Again, like I said, ZV-E10. Been on some jobs lately, so got my and one of the things I'm gonna be doing that I don't talk about enough is like actual cameras. I have enough cameras and lenses that I should be talking about, but I don't talk about it enough. Like my hand, like everybody is trying to figure out whether you need to get the Sony A6700, whether you should be waiting on the ZV-E10 II, whether you should get the ZV-1. All of these different types of things, but people haven't even perfected what it is that they have yet. Everybody got gas, you know what I'm saying? So I still got my trusty, we still got the Sony A6700 with the now I got this full frame 24 to 105G up here. Was just doing some video with, you know what I'm saying? And then I got my baby. I got the Sony A7 IV. You know what I'm saying? We got the A7 IV. Just had the Rode video mic go to up there for some scratch audio. That's the Sony Zeiss 55 millimeter. That is Sony's sharpest rated lens. If you go to the website, it's the sharpest rated lens that they make. So yeah, I'm not, and I know everybody's going crazy right now about the new DJI mic 2s. Hey man, I can't find my charging case right now. Don't judge me. But, we still rock it. We still got the wireless Go 2s. You know what I'm saying? We still rocking out. I can get the pros. I still have, it was called the wireless filmmaker kit, but it's the Rode Link system. I still got 2 sets of those and some other things that I use that I'm not really going to talk about right now. But, yeah, still normal setup. A little overkill right now. I technically could run using the Rode Pod mic, the 2nd generation, the black version. That's going into the Rodecaster Duo. Honestly, I probably could just run this into the Streamer X, but the Streamer X has a. Now that's one thing I did want to say to the Streamer X. The Streamer X, for those of you that had a lot of problems with it, here's my thing regarding it. It was never meant for Rode is an audio company, number one. Rode is an audio company, number one. And one of the things they're trying to jump into this world of content creation. So it's we primarily focus on audio, but we have a lot of creators that need just more than great audio, and so them jumping into the world, just as a heads up, y'all, I've never played with the Texans before, so if I get smacked, I get smacked. But yeah, they've never done the whole video thing, you know what I'm saying? And so yeah, they've never done the whole video thing. And so, you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those situations where it's hey, let's jump out there. And so they came out with the Streamer X. A lot of potential. I think a lot of people were excited. I think if it had the capability, which Mackie, here's the weird thing about it I'm gonna get into. It really, I think they took a product that was marketed towards gamers, and in typical content creation fashion, we as creators, and they marketed, to people that wanted to use it, to record videos kind of like I'm doing now and going live and all those different types of things. But we took it upon ourselves, you know what I'm saying, to use it for our camera, one of our primary camera setups. Now here's the difficulty with that. This joint is slow. The difficulty with that is if you're more into filmmaking type of things, bad pass, Walt. I told y'all. If you're more into filmmaking or whatever, and you want to shoot, you know what I'm saying, the 24 frames per second, you're going to be in trouble because it's going to stutter. Your video recordings are going to stutter at 24 frames per second. At 30 frames per second, it's fine. And that's what I found. You know what I'm saying? So I should not have, I can't see nothing either. I should not have any issues as it relates to the recording. I know I'm streaming right now, so I really can't control that, but I'm only streaming at like 6 megabytes per second because I'm doing it in 1080. Because of the configuration I got right now with splitting off my PS5 signal, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, like I think the Streamer X was really primarily marketed towards gamers. I think Mackie is kind of doing the same thing, but I think Mackie learned from Rode's mistake. Now, here's the funny thing. Rode, or technically the parent company that owned Rode, actually acquired Mackie. And so I know a lot of people were excited, you know, especially on the audio front, because they're, what is it, their DLZ podcast mixer, or mixer, whatever you want to call it. Dope, you know. It's like the first time we've seen a real competitor to a Rode product, to like the Rodecaster, Rodecaster Pro 2, Rodecaster Duo setup. But so nobody, I think people were a little shocked, you know, to kind of see them come out with the mainstream or whatever. And so, you know, they actually have the ability to do what we were telling them to do with the Streamer X, to where you can actually plug a USB camera into the Mackie mainstream. Yes, sir. And into the mainstream. And so you not only have your normal gameplay like I have now, but you can actually plug in, I could take the USB-C output from the Sony ZV-E10 because it allows you to do this. I can run it into the mainstream as a webcam. You know what I'm saying? I could run it as a webcam and I would have been Gucci. I would have been good, you know? And so now you have two camera inputs. Let's go, Robert Woods. You have two camera inputs. You know what I'm saying? And so it's kind of like, man, like, Rode, why didn't you all think of this? You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing where it's like, you know, missed opportunity. But come on, bro. Told y'all this sucks. But yeah, so that I'm definitely looking forward to getting my hands on that. Other than that, not too many changes. Not too many changes. Everything now is not about tech. It's about just, you know, showing up and being consistent, you know, when you do show up. You know, that's the biggest thing for me. Like, I'm talking to y'all now. You all haven't seen me. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen you all or whatever. And I know a lot of people are like, what the heck is Walt doing? Walt jump on his main channel up here playing the PS5. We're just chopping it up and catching it up and saying Happy New Year. You know what I'm saying? Y'all holler at me in the chat. You know, you see me getting whooped right now in this Madden. You know, FYI, I've never played with CJ Stroud. This is slow. I don't like it. You know, I've never played with the Texans before or whatever. But yeah, we're just chopping it up. You know, seeing what y'all got going on. You know, if you can hear me, drop a 1 in the chat. If you can see me, drop a 2. I'm just getting my chops up. And I think what day? I can't necessarily say Mondays, maybe Tuesdays. I'm trying to figure out a day. Somebody saying hello. Who was that? I see where it says Jay, but I don't know who that is. Jay, how are you? Hello. Who are you and where are you watching from? Are you subbed to my channel? How did you come across my channel? Do you have any questions for me? Let's do some Q&A. Do you have any questions for me while you watching me try to figure out how to play this game right here and get whooped? And I'm playing, and I'm gonna tell you something. Tech is a lot like Madden. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Steelers are not necessarily that good, but there's not necessarily a bad team on the game. You just have to know how to use, man, I'm dropping gems playing the game. You just got to know how to use, you know what I'm saying, their playmakers. So it's the same thing with tech. You know, if I wanted to pull out the Samsung Q2U, if I wanted to just run through my iPhone, you know what I'm saying? If I just wanted to pull out the Sony a6300 or the a6000 and run a stream, you know, a lot of people be like, oh, this stuff basic. I guarantee it's still gonna look better than yours. You know what I'm saying? Because I know how to use the tech. Obviously, whoever's playing with the Steelers right now with Kenny Pickett knows how to use them because they smacking me. But tech is the same way. It's the same thing as the game. I've seen people use terrible, like, quote unquote, terrible teams, and they get busy. You know what I'm saying? So everybody ain't running to use Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs or Josh Allen and the Bills or Lamar Jackson, you know, and the Ravens so they can run all over the place, you know. But he hit me with that crazy work. But what's good? Party people, holla at your boy. Happy New Year. Happy 2024, man. I'm just doing an impromptu live, catching up, you know. If you got any questions, drop them in the chat. Let me know what you got going on. What are you guys doing? What are you streaming about? What are you creating content about in 2024? What are the goals? What are the goals? Steve, what's going on? What are the goals? What goals do you have? Man, that was wide open. Why the gameplay is running so slow? What goals do you have? And I can make this a little bit smaller for y'all. What goals do you have that are content related for 2024? I'm gonna probably be up here. I'm gonna be up here till these lights go dead. Or I might be up here. Let's say I may be up here till 8. You know, we'll see how bad I'm getting beat. I'll let the game determine how long I'm up here. But what do you guys got going on 2024? You know what I'm saying? Content creation wise. Judy says, my name is Judy. I've been subscribed 2 years ago. I found your channel and search a beginner mic to use for podcasting. Yet I ended up not doing the podcast. Judy, let's talk about it. Why did you not end up doing the podcast? Because I've got something coming out, hopefully. Come on, bro. Hopefully today is the 22nd. If I hold myself to it, it'll be out the 1st of the month. I got some digital products coming out, y'all, because we got some courses that are going to be coming out later in the year. But, you know, I'm going to give you some freebies. So, you know, it's going to be an ebook. It's going to be free. The first ebook is going to be free. The second ebook is not going to be free. But the first ebook is specifically going to be centered around like podcasting or whatever. So I think I have some great information that's going to help a lot of people, you know, that kind of helped me or whatever. But did you forsake the podcast for something different? Or did you just forsake it altogether? And I appreciate that. Being sub 2 years ago, that's crazy. Shout out to all. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Shout out to all the subs. Shout out to everybody that subscribed to the channel. Even though I know I don't be doing y'all right, I got to do better. I'm gonna tell you what really made me jump up here. I was watching a video from another channel I'm subscribed to, and they said their Happy New Year was an email that they got from the partner program. Heck of a pass, CJ Stroud, telling them that their channel was going to be demonetized because they saw that they hadn't been creating content in a minute. Now, I didn't watch the whole video. I just said, let me go up here and do something. I said, let me go over here and let's get busy. Let's go. Let's get busy and hop on. We got 5 people watching. So I done heard from Jay, who is Judy. I done heard from Steve. You know what I'm saying? Let everybody know your boy is back. Walt is back in the building. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you got going on. Judy, I still want to hear, like, you know, why you decided to forego the podcast. You know, what was your reasoning? God, he baited me. He baited me. Good pick. He baited me. I thought he was gonna go to the other side. What was your reason for not doing the podcast? You know, why did you forego it? Why did you forego it? Why did you forego it? And if you are watching me and you have a podcast, like, are you doing a video podcast? Are you doing an audio only podcast? If you want to do a podcast, you know, do you have any questions? What's keeping you from doing a podcast? Let's talk about it. Let's do some Q&A. You know, like, I'm live right now. If you want to know how I'm going live, if you want to know what how I'm capturing the audio and the video and everything like that, what software I'm using, how do I have my gameplay, you know, in the stream as well. All right, Steve says, I've been working on something about role models, more specifically unselected influencers. I want to know who molded you. Tell me their story. Who were they? A memorial to the giving. Oh, that's what's up. Steve, that's deep. That's deep. And that's a honorable work. I'm excited to see what happens with that. Okay. Judy said, well, 2 years ago my health went downhill and barely last year I was diagnosed with dysautonomia POTS. Basically, I'm recovering, but I have a lot of plans. Well, first of all, thank God you're okay, Judy. I'm glad that you recovered. I pray that you fully recover from that, because we definitely know, there are great things for you to do and things that we want to hear. I'm one of those people where I say everything is content, and you'd be surprised. There could be somebody who was diagnosed with the same thing you were, and it may just be one of those things. It gives you an opportunity to talk about. You don't have to, and it doesn't require you to have some fancy setup. You can literally pick up the phone and just hit the go. Matter of fact, I say to prevent, a lot of people, they try to figure out, well, how do I, what's the editing, things like that. Man, just pick up the phone and go live. Just go live. You don't worry about the editing. Don't worry about any of it. just go live. Listen, here I am, you know what I'm saying, giving y'all advice that I need to be taking myself. But no, real talk. For the 7 of you, or now the 5 of you that were watching, just go live. Make it simple on yourself, and go live. Yeah, make it, and throw interceptions like I'm throwing. Yeah, throw interceptions like I'm throwing. But yeah, you can make it a lot more simple on yourself. You don't even need the mic. I say pick up the phone and just start talking. Consider it like a video journal. The word, how we define podcasting has evolved so much in just what the typical podcast format is. And so to Steve and Judy, congratulations to you both on the things that you're accomplishing. But simplify it. Don't make it any more complicated than it has to be, than it needs to be. I'm all for quality. I'm all for, the highest production value. I'm all for cameras and mics and all that jazz, but I'm all for just getting it out and just keeping it simple. So keep it simple on yourself. How do you suggest incorporating balance on a serious topic when all I deeply want to do is F around and have fun? Don't balance it. Don't balance it. I would. Because again, what you just described as far as what you were trying to do about like influences. I mean, it's deep, and so that's one of those things where it's like you kind of got to have 2 separate channels for that, because you're going to draw 2 different audiences. And so if the content you're creating doesn't allow you to be clear, concise, and consistent at all times on every channel you show up on, God almighty, man. If it doesn't allow you to be clear, concise, and consistent, yeah. Steve says this is what is preventing me from pressing record. I fear being married to the seriousness of the topic. Okay, well, how about this? Let me ask you this question. Is there already an audience for that topic? And if there is already an audience for it, where is that audience? I mean, because what you said was that sounds great on a macro level, But if we were in a coaching call, or if I was doing a consultation session with you, break that down. Like, break it down. Don't just look at it. That's huge. That's very broad. Let's narrow it down though. Like, I'm gonna read what you said again. I'm gonna read. I've been working on something about role models, more specifically unselected influencers. All right, so when you say you've been working on something about role models, what do you mean? You know, what define, because, you know, if you're a boomer, your definition of a role model is going to be different than maybe a millennial or generation, you know, Gen Zers, Gen Xers, Gen Yers, and whatever else they're called now. And so you gotta, here's a lesson. Here's a free lesson for the 7 of you that are watching. Create content for the people that are consuming your content. So number 1, find the audience first. Like, typically because I don't want you to get divorced. As you say, you don't want to be necessarily married to the seriousness of the topic, but at the same time, you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you just end up getting divorced either. And then you're not creating any content. So, you know, don't enter, as you know, as a priest would say, don't enter into marriage unadvisedly. So don't just jump into a relationship with content unadvisedly without understanding the ins and outs of what you're getting into. So about the people that influence you. Okay, but influence you to do what? Now, this is going to sound a little bit harsh, but this is where we get into the nitty gritty, Steve. Who cares about who influenced you? Who are you? Like, what do you do? Like, it's one thing for Mr. Beast to start doing something to say who influenced him, or who influenced Donald Trump, or who influenced Michael Jordan. Like that would be interesting. Like, Michael Jordan, who influenced you? Because people care. Steve, this is no disrespect to you, but listen to what I'm about to say. This is very raw. And this is what we have to do in the world of branding and marketing. Who cares? So are you just trying to reach an audience of people that know you? Or is this just something you're doing for your own self-grandizing, for lack of a better term? Something you just want to do for yourself, to check off, you know. Like, which one is it? Judy said, I've been looking more into designing. So recently I signed up on Redbubble, but I'm stuck because I don't know how to turn my pics into CMYK. What are you using, Judy? You can use I'm quitting this because I can't play with you won, bro. Whoever this is. I can't play with the game is slow. I can't play with the Texans. You can use like something like Photoshop or Illustrator to do that, Judy. So when you say Redbubble, I think you can even convert that in Canva, maybe. But okay, Steve says an interview podcast. JJSC, dude, where have you been? Hey, man. Gone. I've been here. I've been here. I've been here running around. I've been here. I'm gonna tell you, I've been working with kids a lot. This is one of the gifts I got for Christmas. I'm gonna show y'all this. Show y'all what that says. I don't know if you can really see that, but it says straight dubs, Mr. Walter the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? But most def, man, good to see you too. But I ain't gonna. I'm here, you know. But I mean, we're having a great conversation. Then jump in. So, Steve, you're talking about doing an interview podcast. Okay, all right. But again, you're saying, okay, you want to interview people who have influenced you. Influenced you to do what? Influence you to make $1 million? influence you to get 1 million subscribers? Like, where is the audience that cares about what influence do you have? Like, this is where people, this is the part that people hate. People start channels and people start podcasts, people start a lot of different things, but they don't want to do this part right here, and that's the hard questions. Everybody just jumps straight to what's the best camera, what's the best microphone. Y'all better share this and tell people get in, man, because I ain't got nothing better to do. I'm chilling right now. I'm gonna give y'all like 30 more minutes. I'm doing a live. Matter of fact, Steve, let's do something crazy. Steve, I'm gonna drop a link to you, Steve, in the chat. If you want to, Steve, because I'm serious about this. Follow that link, Steve. Let's talk about this live. I ain't done this in a long time. I got 8 people up here. Y'all share this. You know what I'm saying? We can get. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do something crazy. Yo, so I'm gonna tell you where I've been, JJ, man. Like, I've been on this cologne thing. Hey, hop on. Steve is joining. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go, Steve. All right, we got Steve in the green room. Matter of fact, hold on. Let's get rid of this game audio in my ear. I'm no longer concerned about that. I'm no longer concerned about that. Steve, I think you're muted. It's showing as if you're muted. Can I hear you?
I'm mute. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, baby.
Oh, man, we're good to go. Hey, y'all that's watching in the chat, y'all let me know. Oh, my God, Walter. Y'all let me know whether or not you can hear both me and Steve. If you can hear me and Steve, drop a 1 in the chat. So, Steve, what you got? Tell us about this podcast, because I want to know, and we all want to know, so how we can support. What you got going on?
I appreciate you, man. So I've been kicking this idea around in my head for like about a year, and just kind of like writing about the people thinking mostly about the people that influence me. And that's kind of what planted the seed of the idea. Is I wanted to kind of have a guest style podcast, interview style, where I talk to people starting locally. Like, I live in like a college town, starting with like professors, maybe like the local football coaches, basketball coaches. We're in a little small mountain town up in North Carolina. And I want to talk to the people that I look up to right now. I want to ask myself, who do I look up to? And then I want to find out who influenced them, or who do they look up to? And how did that person influence them? What got it going was I started thinking about just completely random people. I started thinking about a man that used to go to my church, and he would show up at the basketball court with us every Thursday night and hoop with us. I'm talking about when I was like 10, 11, 12 years old. This dude was there every Thursday night. He didn't really say a whole lot to me. He didn't really tell me to do anything or try to pull me into his deal. He was just there. He was present. But for some reason now, like 20 years later, I look back and I'm like, dang, that dude really cared about us. He's a stand-up cat. Mark Oliver, shout out Mark Oliver. I remember his name, but like, that's a stand-up guy that was just there. He was present for us. So I think about people like him, and I want to memorialize him. So I want to ask questions about the people that influenced you, like school teacher, coach, cousin, uncle, father. Who was it? And then tell me their story from your perspective.
Okay, that's dope.
I
I love
that person's story.
Okay, 30 for 30. I love it. I love it. So let's brand it. Like, what is okay? We're still dealing with a macro.
You want it? The exemplar effect.
Okay,
Google exemplar. So give me the definition of exemplar.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
EXEMPLAR. I've been working on this for like a year, man, for real.
Hey man,
I
well,
was found you
it's
for
time.
overlay video because I'm taking the steps to do it, and then I got scared about being stuck with the serious topic. So we'll get there though.
Gotcha. A person or thing serving as a typical example or exit model. Boom. Okay.
So
I'm
the
gonna tell you what's
exemplar
crazy.
effect.
So I'm gonna tell you what's crazy about this, and this is for Judy. I'm gonna tell you the example that Google gives. Linda was the exemplar of courage and strength as she battled cancer. So it's a lot. We got a lot going on here. You know what I'm saying tonight. You know that is definitely divine. So Judy, I don't going back to what I was saying to you earlier. I don't know this whole thing about designing. Hey, that's cool. That's fine with it. I don't know. This, you know, Steve has this whole exemplar effect thing going on. I think it would be dope to hear you talk because I've never known anybody with POTS, you know, and I'm pretty sure there are many of people out there who have probably endured the same thing. So that would be a dope story to tell. But okay, Steve, you said you've been working on this a year.
Yeah.
So you feel like your biggest hang up or hold up is just not being married to the seriousness of it.
Yeah, like being stuck with the seriousness. Like I enjoy comedy, podcasts, and screwing around and having fun. Like I grew up in the late 90s, early 2000s, and like the pre-podcast, like morning F around radio shows and stuff like that. That's kind of like my jam, like Howard Stern-esque kind of stuff. And so like I'm afraid that being stuck on such a serious topic or just being like focused on such a serious topic will prevent me from doing what I truly want to do. Almost, you know?
Okay. Now that makes sense. So, okay. My first reaction, which is what we're kind of talking about in the chat, would be a little more work. Because something like that, I wouldn't tell you to do. Like I couldn't do a hard pivot on my channel. Like most of the subscribers I have either came by way of Samsung Q2U or A10 Mini. I know that. The statistics show that. Yeah. And so most of that is built around tech. Like I was talking to one of my friends the other day. I said, dude, how many videos have you seen on my channel where I actually talk about cameras and like lenses? Other than just what I'm talking about literally because there are ways sometimes and I'm a context person, so I will take the scenic route to get back to your point, but it'll all make sense. But I'm one of those people. I can say I have friends, I have peers, you know, who have hit, you know, I have peers that are like, they have 1 million subscribers. I have peers in the 100,000 subscriber space. I have peers in that nano space between 1 and 10,000. But then I have a lot who are kind of in that between like 20, 50, you know, or between 50 and 100,000 subscribers. And so one of the conversations we have all the time is just like, bro, you're just like a consistent, you know, schedule away, you know, because the algorithm will take care of itself. And I'm like, I know, you know, I got a lot of other things going on in life, you know, that I'm kind of focused on besides this. But what kind of brings me back even right now is the audience is what has to bring me back. The audience. So a lot of times I know we create content for ourselves, but there's an audience, and you're going to hear this. You're going to see this later. So if any of y'all try to take my concept, it's going to be me and you. But there's a audience assigned to your voice. And so as it relates, I think even the interview, I think that's smart to even go about it that way, because me running my mouth by myself, people are like, what is he talking about? But if somebody sees me and Steve talking, they're like, what? I wonder what they're talking about. You know, they're more likely to kind of tune into that conversation. So that's a smart just idea to kind of attack it from that standpoint. Anyway, I think there is a dilemma, because there is a dilemma within myself, as in like, okay, this is the channel and this is kind of what I've built, but these are the other things that I'm really passionate about. I'm super, 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 super in love with the concept of branding and marketing. Outside of everything else I do, that's my number one focus. I'm a brand strategist, yada, yada, yada. I'm all into that. And so you will see sprinkles of things on my channel regarding branding, things surrounding that business or whatever. It's not popular. It's not popular for my channel because that's not what I built my channel on. Now, because I'm talking about content creation, YouTube, podcasting, all those different types of things, there are levels of branding, marketing, all these things that go into that, because all everybody cares about is the microphone, the lights, the camera, the lens, whatever. But I'm like, okay, I know people who have $20,000, $30,000 worth of gear that, you know, don't do anything with it because they don't know how to reach the audience that's assigned to their voice. So it's kind of like where you were talking about that balance. Like, how do I pivot? Because that's what you're going to have to do. And I think the fact that you're trying to figure this out now before jumping into it is a good thing. I will say, do not be afraid to just go out there and marry what it is that you really, really, really want to do with this project. What I will say to, as far as everything else that you want to do, which is sometimes most people, like if you go to a Think Media workshop with Sean Kendall and Omari and them right now, they're probably either they're going to tell you to do this or they're going to advise against it. If what you really, really, really want to do is so contrary to the seriousness of this, where you don't have a personality, you don't have a Joe Rogan personality where you can tie everything in together, or you don't have an audience or celebrity base yet where people will be forgiving to just says, this is what comes with Steve. You know, this is all that comes with Steve. Because I don't want you to be doing an interview, you know, with the likes of the person you were talking about before. And then, you know, the next video I see is a Howard Stern style, you know, and I'm going to be like,
yeah,
I'm confused. Like, what is going on? Now, you're going to have people that appreciate the variety, because what we see now is a lot more variety channels popping up, but it's hard to grow that way. So if you care about growth, don't do it. If you don't care about growth and you just care about being true to yourself, just upload whatever it is you want to upload. But if you do care about growth, if you care about the algorithm, if you care about how, you know, people, your audience or whatever is going to look at you, I would say, hey, one channel dedicated to this, one channel dedicated to that. Or you treat the podcast more like a business, and then everything else you treat kind of more like we get into this world of personal branding. So so you may just say, hey, for personal, I'm gonna TikTok it out, you know, I'm gonna Instagram it out, you know, and then for the serious conversation, I'm gonna just YouTube. If I do decide, if you do the video route, which I advise, of course, video, and then you know, can do all your distribution to your audio channels as well, depending on your audio platforms as well, depending on what service you decide to host it with. And then that's, I would say, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, serious. Personal, Instagram, TikTok, have at it, have a blast. And I would separate it like that, because channels, unless you plan on just creating content for the fun things you want to do as well. Like, I don't think people know I have like 6 other channels. I think 3 I really care about. I have a gaming channel that the only reason I created the gaming channel, and I don't even know if it's 5 videos up there, but I created a gaming channel just because I showed y'all this earlier. Some of the kids that I work with and mentor, they ended up actually starting their own business called DGK, them grandkids, video production and all of that. I started a channel just to show them how to do it, you know, to show them how to set up the gear, cover photos, thumbnails, SEO, just to really kind of, because I wanted to speak their language. They game. Okay, well, let me show you how to set something up based on what you love. Y'all love playing Fortnite. Let me show you how you can get to the point of getting paid to do all of these different types of things. You know, whether it's Fortnite, GTA, whatever. Same thing. I have a channel. It's called Fat Boy Finesse. I think fun, fashion, and fragrances or whatever. People don't know I'm a cologne head. Like, I got this. I was literally just about to show this. When JJ was talking about what you've been into, I was like, I've been into this right here. Like, I've been on this crave. This is a company I came across. I don't know if y'all care. It's this company out of New York. It's called Joe Milano Paris. This is their version. It's called Game of Spades Wildcard. If you're familiar with the Bond number 9 line, Lafayette Street. This is a clone of Lafayette Street. This is a 95 to 96% as it relates to accuracy, accurate version of Lafayette Street, and it lasts longer and it's stronger. I have a channel dedicated to that. You know, I do a lot of things on the faith-based side. So I have a channel dedicated to, I got a lot of different things going on because there's a different audience for each of that. And every so often I try to sprinkle in certain, because something, you just can't avoid your personality. You are who you are. You're Steve. And so you being who you are is going to shine through in your interviews. So I would say don't let that frighten you or make you afraid to say, how do I go about doing it? I would say just do it and see how it
it's so
plays
weird.
out. Yeah.
It's so weird because I'm not even trying to do the comedy thing. I just like feel like I want to be able to if I ever decide to. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not even trying to like do that stuff right now. Like
And
that thought's not even in my mind. But I just feel like I'm selecting this serious topic, and that's what I'm going to be tied to. It's just like that fear that's there. I don't know.
Gotcha. Hold on, John. I got John joining in. John, I'm gonna throw you in here too. Can you hear? Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear.
Steve, can you hear John?
Steve, can you hear?
What's up, John? What's up, John?
What's up? What's up? This is John from JJSC Tech.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, I figured that. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you back though. Or I'm hearing me. Or I'm hearing me.
Interesting. How about you, Sean? You hearing?
I'm hearing him. I'm hearing him back as well.
Maybe my settings.
What are you using? What are you using?
ECAMM.
What are you doing for audio? What are you doing for audio?
It's going through an interface.
Which one?
Which one? Through Apollo.
Do you have? You can enable mixed minus on Apollo, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the issue.
Lisa too.
Yeah, because John was Steve was good. Hold on. Y'all ain't done this in a minute. All right, hold on, real quick. I ain't done this in a long time. And this is fun. I'm glad we're figuring this out. Get my chops back. Yeah, Judy. We're getting the echo too. Is it gone now? No, I still hear me. ECAMM, what are you showing in your audio sources?
So my audio source.
Or your sound levels, rather.
Well, I got loopback. I got everything going into loopback. So everything is coming through the mic channel.
Cause I'm playing back in your channel. Like I'm looking at it. So I'm playing in my normal channel, but I'm also playing back in your audio. If you go look at loopback, you got whatever virtual device you created, I should be showing up twice, which is creating the echo. Yeah, Judy is having a time with this.
Can online hear the echo too?
Yeah, because she can hear it.
Hold on.
And I can see it. Like you sound amazing. But I'm coming through twice. So I'm coming. Wait a minute. Now I'm not coming through. What did you just do? No, now I just came back again.
Interesting. So you can hear yourself twice again?
Yeah. But whatever you did for a quick second worked.
Yeah, but you won't be able to hear me. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you fine.
Yes.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. That's it.
So can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you perfect.
Okay, wonderful. So loopback.
What did you have in loopback?
So I had the virtual channels running back into the output.
Gotcha.
Loopback.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
it. Loopback is dope, but okay, Judy, you're good. Okay, yeah, Loopback is dope, but it can it can have you messed up in a world of trouble.
yeah, it's all about the routing. Hopefully, you guys can still hear like my sound effects and stuff. You can't hear those, right?
I can hear. I hear you.
Only me. Yeah. So
Yeah, I
that's the
only
thing.
hear
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
All right. So that's something I got to work on.
Yeah. So we'll figure that out. But John, what you jumping in the conversation with me and Steve? What you got going on?
Yeah, man. So I do more like professional. I target a professional audience. So like how to stream and how to like do all of this stuff
Okay.
by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have like if you're trying to stream, like just like a few hours ago helped like a professional musician use ECAMM and do all the audio routing inside of ECAMM so everyone can hear her with effects and reverbs and all that stuff. So yeah,
Gotcha.
and I definitely am trying to like help the youth in many churches I go and try to expose them to more like professional grade stuff so they can
Right.
get their hands on it early. And like my motto is if they can learn what I know now at that age, man, by the time they get my age, they're beasts. So yeah.
Which is how I ended up with this.
Yeah.
Because that is exactly, and we got Flo with the Joe podcast going on. What's going on, Flo? Flo, you want to jump in here too? I posted a link. I dropped the link in the chat. We just gonna have a great big family reunion. You can jump in too.
I'm on.
But yeah, no, exactly the same thing. And I think even kind of looping around back to what me and Steve we're talking about. Shout out to the ECAMM. Oh, we got David Harvey in the building. Yeah. I've been going too long because Happy New Year to everybody. What's good, Dave? But I think when you it kind of gets back to the why of it all, Steve. You know what I'm saying? And so, like you were saying, those are things that you're not necessarily diving into, and I think there will be opportunities presented later for you to kind of jump into that. But I mean, as far as like the core of what it is you want to do, I think it's dope. Same thing along the line of what John is talking about, some of the things I'm doing. It really kind of comes back to the why. We can talk about gear. We can talk about everything all day. But at the end of the day, it's all about what am I getting up and doing it for? Because you'll start like you're a year in, and so my hope, like let's go ahead and set a date like right now. Like when is the podcast launching, Steve?
Oof.
Yeah,
Man.
I'm putting you on the fire right now. Like when is it
Yeah,
launching?
I mean, it's all everything's ready. Like everything's ready to. All I have to literally do is press record. I mean, I even have a couple of guests that I've spoken to about coming on. One of them's like a local weather guy.
Okay.
Guy that like does a lot of like the storm chasing kind of stuff around here, up in the mountains, and yeah. So like literally everything's ready except for just like picking a date. So you're gonna put me on the spot and make me do that right now.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Because I gotta hold you to it.
You're gonna be here to follow up and hold me accountable. Let's go with February 10th.
February.
Oh wow.
Wow. I'm not gonna tell you why that date is so significant yet. I'll tell you later. But yeah, if February 10th, I know I'm gonna remember that for 1,000 different reasons. I'm gonna remember that. So Steve, February the 10th. For those of you who are watching, you heard it here first. Make sure you share this with everybody. Let them know that we are going to be talking about the exemplar effect coming around on February the 10th. And Steve is getting ready to get this thing popping. Let's go, man. Let's go. Yeah. I wish more people would, like, even back to myself and again, looping around back to what John said. It's like at some point, you just gotta just do it. Just do it. Yeah. There is an audience for any and everything you want to do. And this is one of the things I'm going to be talking about in the ebook. There's an audience literally for everything. Like literally anything you can possibly think of that you want to talk about, whether it's an audience of 10 people or it's 10 million. There's an audience for people. Flo asks, can you do a gaming channel with the Nintendo Switch? My daughter wants to start a gaming podcast, but can't figure out how to connect the Nintendo to the computer. Absolutely. It's just a matter of, you know what I'm saying, connecting the Switch to the computer, which is going to come by way of capture card. Flo, I would actually advise you. I think JJ, SC Tech, I think John is the man that actually, you know what I'm saying, that can definitely help you with that, you know. So I would love to see you all connect and figure that out. And that's the beauty of community. David mentioned, shout out to the ECAMM fam. And I think a lot of you are familiar with ECAMM that are watching. In the pandemic, this is how things came together. People were up midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I think a lot of people got started doing Vlogmas. Just literally doing this. Hey, hop on my stream. Let's figure this out. Why is the audio not working? You know what I'm saying? Like literally what we just did, trying to figure out the mics and the cameras and loop back and all of that. Like that's how we got started. That was the community. I'm in probably 1,000 different groups just like you all are on Facebook, between Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever, Discord. ECAMM still, and shout out to Let's Get Live, which is Doc Rock's community, which was birthed out of ECAMM, but ECAMM is probably with a couple of others that I'm in. ECAMM still is either 1 or 2 as it relates to just community and the ability to build off of one another, and the ability to just it's a judgment-free zone, no competition. Literally, people who are genuinely just interested in seeing, you know, you soar. So I mean, Steve, you're doing something that millions of people are sitting there like, hey, man, I wish I could do this. Just do it. Like, not to you know, just regurgitate, you know, Nike's tagline, but literally. And I know it sounds simple, just like we're kind of saying to Judy. Like, don't complicate it. Like, if you can get with John, you can get with me. Flo has a dope pocket. You can get with anybody to figure out the gear, all these different types of things. That's with anybody. But at the end of the day, I'm like, yo, you got a whole phone. Your phone has a camera and a microphone. I told y'all, I said I'm gonna stream till that light go out because it's not plugged up. But yeah, you have everything you need, and especially you, Steve, for a whole year. And I'm saying this to you, I'm holding you accountable because I'm holding myself accountable. Like, if I had not saw that video of the young lady I follow saying the YouTube partner program was gonna demonetize her because she hadn't posted a video. I didn't even wait to see how long it was. I didn't wait to see how long it was before she had, because I'm sitting here like, man, I ain't posting nothing in July. But at the same time, I do understand the back channel of my, you know, the background, the back end of my channel and how some other things work. So I was like, no, I'm not in jeopardy of that because I got some other things going on. And I'm like, yo, when is the last time you posted? I said, well, shoot, I'm gonna just go live. And I was already getting ready to play the game. And I was like, you know what? Forget my face. I ain't got a haircut. Face look crazy. Mics and stuff. I'm like, just turn it on. Go live because more people care about the conversation. You know what I'm saying? And allow your personality to shine through. Now I'm sitting up here talking to Steve and John at the same time. We got Judy. Judy going to be the next person to say she's coming back to the podcast space. We're going to make her say that before she leaves the Judy's chat. Date. Yeah, Judy, put your date in the chat, you know. And East Atlantic checking in for Northeast Florida. What's going on? Flo with the Joe. Yeah, so Flo, if y'all looking at the chats, John, she said drop your information.
Oh.
Yeah, drop your information for Flo so y'all can link. Steve, that's what I'm talking about, man. You'd be surprised, and you're probably not, but there are so many people, which is why one of the reasons I'm taking the route that I'm taking with the ebook. You've been putting that together for a year. I have some content I've probably been putting together for like 10. Yeah. I went back through some notes and some journals and some things. I'm like, bro, what is wrong with you? Like, what's going on? Like, you got content and books and all kind of things for days. Video. I think the first Think Media workshop I did years ago, I think one of the assignments, one of the things I did was just like write down 100 video topics. And I'm going to give y'all a game real quick. And I'm not saying this because I know everything, because I don't know everything, but I know what I know. I'm going to tell you this. It is impossible. If you make content for your audience, it's impossible for you to run out of content ideas. I know we got vidIQ and whatever the other service is that I use, because my channel looking crazy. TubeBuddy. I don't know why I have TubeBuddy and vidIQ connected to my channel. I'm about to disconnect one of them because it drives me crazy. Like all of this analytic stuff I got going on. But it is if you make content for the people that are actually consuming your content, and I don't care if it's 10 people, I don't care if it's 100 people, I don't care if it's 1,000 people. If you make content for them, you will never run out of content video ideas to make. Where do most of my ideas come from? Content comes from the comments. Mm-hmm. Your content, and whether it's your comments or whether it's somebody else's. So if you're in the tech space, in the creative tech space, in the live stream, camera, audio space, kind of like me and John are, the easiest thing for you to do right now is go to any major creator. You can go to Think Media's page. You can go to Tom Buck's page, because here's the blessing and the curse of being such a large creator. You can't get everybody.
Facts.
They cannot sit there. They have a team, but they still cannot. And this is the beauty of community, because there's room and opportunity for everybody to grow. So people are asking, you all know this, because I'm still trying to catch up on replies to some of you all. You can't, depending on what your lifestyle is, you cannot get to any and every comment, every question. And this is the same thing to you, Steve. Once you start, like, make sure you start to build your interviews and your topics around questions that people have. If you can find out how, and this is part of, people call it the Joe Rogan formula. I really say Gary V. I think Joe Rogan got it from Gary V, but we give Joe Rogan credit for it because he's more visible. But if you can really find out how to take those micro pieces of content that really answers, as Think Media would say, ASQ, answer specific questions that people have, that's going to be golden, because it'll allow your personality to come through, where you can pull people back into some of those other things you want to talk about, and it still be wholesome. And you can still stay married to the topic that you're focused on, but it doesn't seem like a strain, like, man, I want to do something else. How do I do that? Because depending on the person you may interview, they may bring out something that speaks to a part of those things that you want to do. Oh man, that's crazy. Like, because, I like to do A, B, C, D. Boom. That information, it gets the comment, it gets the chat hype. So it gets it hype, you know what I'm saying? Just like Flo was talking about, wanting to start a gaming channel. I got East Atlantic in here talking about, you know what I'm saying, DJ Serato Roadcaster. I got a channel dedicated. I ain't even posted nothing on it, but I told you, I got a channel dedicated to DJing, because we got turntables and stuff over here or whatever that if I feel like it, whatever. If I don't, I'm not a professional. I just know how to rock the mic and have a good time with the party. My roommate, he's really the better DJ. It don't matter. I don't care. It's just, these are all of the things that it's like, okay, I love to do all of these things. Sometimes I want to hop on Serato. Sometimes I want to focus on my camera. Sometimes I want to see what kind of mic settings I can do. Sometimes I just want to figure out the Rodecaster Duo, and is there any. Sometimes I want to figure out why Rode didn't do what Mackie is doing with the mainstream that they should have done with the Streamer X, even though now they're under the same parent company. Sometimes I want to figure out why ECAMM is doing this, and why StreamYard is doing this, and why every time I go on YouTube, Riverside.com is a freaking ad. I don't know who is running Riverside's marketing department, but they got an unlimited budget. Cause that is the only ad I see. Whether it's a StreamYard ad from Think Media, but Riverside is, every time I come on YouTube, I see Riverside. But that also speaks to the space. The algorithm knows these are the things that Walt is interested in. How do I take all of that and encapsulate it and present it to my audience? Luckily, I'm in a space, like me and John are in a space that allows us to do that, because I can talk about tech. I can talk about ECAMM. And be like, yo, if you're a DJ, you should be using ECAMM. I
have an important question, and this probably goes for everyone that's starting things out as well.
Yeah. Please tell me the
how do you prevent burnout? Because being someone multiple talents like yourself, how do you prevent burnout?
Set a schedule. And when I say set a schedule, be honest and be realistic with yourself. I'm telling you what I'm having to do now. My grandmother, if she was here, well, I mean, she's still living, but if she was in front of me, one of the things she always said is start out like you can hold out. Be realistic. If you can only do one video a month, only do one video a month. If you can only do one video by week, it's kind of like getting paid. You know, like a lot of people hate their 9 to 5. And everybody wants to be a full-time creator. But nobody stops long enough to think that, okay, if I decide to quit my job today, they're going to replace me. Why? Because they've put a system in place that allows the business to continue to run, whether I'm there or not. Now, I could be a valuable piece and a valuable cog in the machine, and they're going to miss me. But at the end of the day, my job is not shutting down because I decided to leave or go on to do something else because of the system. Scheduling is part of the system. Scheduling, being honest with yourself, and whether it's video content, whether it's whatever, is being, you know, we're talking about showing up for your audience. Like, I'm having to go back and say no to a lot of things because this is a piece of me that I've been missing, and this means a lot to me, being able to just sit in a space and have a conversation. So now I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, okay, I know what YouTube tells me. Just say from a content standpoint, YouTube tells me, okay, this is the best time it is for me to publish, go live. You know, if you know your analytics and stuff like that, if you have access to it, it'll tell you all of that. I'm sitting here thinking, okay, is Mondays at 7:00 a good time for me to just hop on and have an expectation for my community that, hey, I'm going to see Walt on Monday at 7:00, regardless of what else I got going on. I'm going to push that to the side so we can have a conversation like this with Walt, Steve, and John, and Joe, Flo, and David, and East Coast, you know, in the chat. And we just and Judy got everything popping off. Scheduling. And when I say scheduling, I'm more so talking about being systematic with your approach to life. Because like you said, when you wear a lot of hats, burnout comes to me, honestly. When I'm getting burned out from the things that I'm passionate about, it means that something else is taking priority that it shouldn't be. I'm having to say yes to something that I probably need to consider whether I need to say no. Because why should you get burned? Like, stress comes with, there's a stress to this. There is a stress of trying to figure out why we was having echo, but that's par for the course. That's actually fun. Let's figure something out. What's broken? There's a stress to, man, I gotta talk for like a whole hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours. I mean, but it's low levels of stress. But when you're like stressed out, where it's like, bro, like I'm experiencing levels of depression. I know for me, I went through this thing the other day. I was like, I'm in a funk. I can't create. 9 times out of 10, that's due to clutter. That's either due to literal, physical, natural clutter, where I need to like, okay, let's take everything apart. And I'm not just talking about clean. Let's take everything apart. Take everything off the desk. Let's put everything back together. Boom. Y'all see me. You haven't seen me since July. I think you randomly saw me. Maybe I was doing a live stream test at some church. I was helping set up some stuff. But other than that, I haven't posted anything since July. I may need to clean up. I need to wash clothes. I mean, whatever it's going to take for you to have a clear mind. And sometimes being clear, I always talk about being clear, concise, and consistent. So being clear, concise, and consistent. Clear, concise, and consistent. To be consistent, for me, I had to learn how to get concise. I'm clear on how, if I'm consistent, the result. The piece that was missing for me was how to be concise. Concise meaning, how do I shorten the time between me being clear, me having an idea? So like Steve, me saying, oh, this is what I want to do. And then it not taking, no shot, Steve, I'm just using it as an example. It not taking a year later for me to get to consistency. So I got to cut that time down. So now I got to say, how do I be concise? Walt, can you? No. Walt, no. And I find this, I talk about this a lot because people don't know I'm a graphic designer. Or I used to be. I design for myself. I really hate that's not a word. And really because I'm a minimalist so I love corporate brand identities and different things like that, and fashion. I love the simplicity of things. You know, John, working with church, everything's make it pop. And I'm like, no, I can't do that no more. And so you got to say no. You have to get to a place to where you say, what's more important? What is going to allow me to go to sleep at night and I can live with myself? Can I live with myself knowing there are people out there that have questions that I haven't answered? Because I'm living my life to a point where I'm living above my means. So I'm having to say yes to an invoice, to a check, to something I really don't even want to do. Mm-hmm. And I've been doing a lot of work, and I got to the point to say, I don't want to do this no more. And it's not because I don't enjoy doing it. I just don't enjoy the work part. Like here's the reality. Let me tell y'all a secret for y'all that's watching. Here's where Walt is. I don't want to get paid for these anymore. I want to get paid for this. I've exhausted this. I was a drummer I started playing drums at the age of 2. And I mean, like I could actually play. I was a musician first. That was my introduction to creativity. I got carpal tunnel. I'm tired. Like I love, retouching photos, and I love going to it, but I'd rather almost to the point work for somebody else to say, like, go back and work for my mentor, to say, hey, show up in an event, shoot, get my Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, PayPal, whatever, send him back the photos. I'm done. You got to deal with the client. You got to edit. You got to do all of that. That's where I'm at, because I no longer have a vested interest in that. And I had to restructure my life to where I can be honest with my budget and honest with my time to say, okay, time is money. So how much of myself am I giving away for free to other people, and that I need a return on? This right here, the return that I'm getting is talking to y'all. I'm good. I'm fired up. I'm lit now. I'm like, okay, let's go. Now here's the danger. Here's where burnout comes. If you pay attention to my channel, and John, you may have seen this. Anybody that follows me may have seen this. When I'm here, I'm here.
Facts.
When I'm cranking, I'm cranking. You're not gonna find too many people cranking more than me. I'm cranking. I'm putting out, because when it's on, it's on. When it's off, it's gone. It's like the Holy Ghost. When it lifts. It's done. It's over. God, like, why we still in church? Like, y'all still hollering? No, he's gone. Like, it's over. Let's go home. Let's eat. I'm tired. I'm sweating for no reason now. The job is done. The assignment is done. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be able to be consistent. I'm clear on what it is I'm supposed to be doing. I want it, so it's not the what. I'm clear on the why. I'm clear on the who. So now it's just got to figure out, okay, let's go back to the how. And the how is, let's get concise. So let's get concise in life. Let's get concise and say no. Burnout, and whether it's natural, whether it's spiritual, physical, financial, we see it in so many different ways. But 9 times out of 10, when I talk to people, when people talk to me, when I've sat on the couch, when I talk to my therapist, when I just talk to other creators, like, yo, why are you so tired? Because it's not fun anymore. I don't have the space to be creative. I don't have the opportunity to do what makes me come alive. Like, getting on this mic and running my mouth, like, makes me come alive. But if I got to be sitting here working, doing somebody else's stuff, I don't get a chance to do that. I don't get a chance to drop a link in the chat and say, yo, Steve, jump in. Let's chop it up. Let's talk about what you got going on right now. Typing is one thing. I can sit here and be like, prime example. I'm at work. I work in IT. So we had an all hands meeting last week, and one of the digital accessibility leads was saying, if y'all have any suggestions for, things that need to go on the website, let me know. So, I'm taking it upon myself. On this mundane Monday, I sent her an email and was like, yo, like, I think we should put more video content on the site. And it just so happens that this week is data privacy week. So all of my techies out there or whatever, if you're interested, I don't know if that's a my job thing, but I think overall in the world of information technology is data privacy week. Nobody cares about data privacy. Let's be real. I respect everybody that works in data privacy. Nobody cares. Everybody should care, but nobody cares. We should all care about our data and security. Nobody cares. Nobody reads terms and conditions. And this is like kind of like what I was saying to Steve. I'm like, I'm not trying to offend you. I'm being 100% honest. Like if we were in a boardroom and this was a $1 trillion industry, this could be cut through. Nobody cares. Now in my mind, I'm sitting here like nobody cares. I know in my setting, I can't say that because I don't know you. We've never really had a conversation like that. So I don't need you going to my manager being like, Walter just straight up like disrespected me and told me nobody cares about what I do and I'm not important. No, that's not the case. But what I'm saying is more people watch the news than read newspapers. Mm-hmm. That's the world we live in. Do I abandon my audience that reads? No. They did this whole nice blog post about data privacy, as you should have, because there are people who still read. But there's a larger percentage and majority of people, here's a missed opportunity. It would have been better for you to create a 60 to 90 second reel telling me as a millennial why I should care about my data, why I should care about my privacy. Because the person I'm sitting beside is probably stealing my data right now, especially with this new. As a matter of fact, if y'all got that new, what is it, iOS 17, 18, you better turn your little airdrop off where people, you see what I'm saying? Have you considered, like, it? Boom, if you want more information, go read the article. So now I got leads, I got traffic, I've got breadcrumbs. We done all the SEO that puts more eyes on that. In order for me to get what I want, I now have to speak her language. So I crafted my email very well. And I brought some Chat GPT in there as well to be like, hey, give me a couple of pointers. I crafted that thing very well because I have an end goal because I no longer want to get paid for this. I'm trying to get out of this production mode. I love people, but I want to move more into a coaching. Turn your airdrop off, Flo. I wanna. Judah said Casper ain't got nothing. You listen, nothing. But I want to get out of this mode of just Walt can do it because he's good at it. No, I don't want to do it. I turned down some major opportunities, man. I mean, some money, and it'll come back. It'll come back 100-fold. I'm not worried about it. But you have to, Steve, we're talking about marriage. You got to be married to yourself. You got to be married to your priorities. You got to be married to that thing, whatever your calling is, whatever your purpose is, whatever your passion is, you got to be married to that. And it doesn't mean that you won't get tired. There's a difference between getting tired and getting burned out. When you burned out.
Or divorced.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
I've been there. I went down that road. 2020, right? The pandemic. So it's like, yo. But here's the crazy part. So now, God does all things well. So you bring up the prime opportunity. I don't refer to people as exes. That's just my thing. But my wife at the time, Steve, her birthday is February the 10th. So that's why I said I know I'm going to hold you to that date because that's a date that's etched in my brain. That I'm like, oh, Steve's podcast is supposed to be. Let me go check out this interview. But the crazy thing is, it took me getting burnt out literally in life, even in my marriage, to get to the point to where I stopped and said, okay, I was clear. But there was inconsistency. So I was clear, and you know what? Let me take that back. I wasn't clear. I wasn't clear. I was concise. Now, I understood how to be concise then. I was short when I needed to be long, when I needed to be more understanding, when I needed to be less selfish, when I needed to be, more mindful of things. A lot of times that men, sometimes we get in this Neanderthal mindset and we forget. But it's like I needed to be more massaging. I needed to not be the solutions expert. I needed to not fix it. I needed to just listen. I needed to be like that. That's one thing I'm learning now, being slow to speak, other than this conversation, because I've been running my mouth, but just slow to speak. And hearing and understanding what the pain point really is. And understanding that because you express that you have an issue is not an attack on me. It's not an attack. I don't even know who that's for, but it's not an attack on you. It's not saying that you did something wrong. It's saying, yo, this is how I feel. And I had to understand that, your experience is valid. Whether I made you feel that way or not, or whether I agree with it, because you feel that way is valid.
Doesn't that have a lot to do with how the message is delivered as well? Like how?
Absolutely. And so
Yeah.
there's a responsibility on both people. And we had an opportunity to do that, to say, yo, I was wrong, you was wrong, we was wrong, we was all wrong. All right, well, I love you. And we can keep it moving. It's not that, it's like divorces, man. I don't even, Steve, you started this. Because Flo just dropped this in the comments, but and it's crazy the marriage, for lack of a better term, between like life and content. This is why I was saying, Judy, everything is content. If you're still even watching, everything is content. You know, struggles, things, because we're talking about something. Flo just says, I'm going through that now. So if I do not, John, get to the point. I told you this. I take the scenic route. I'm a context person. I'm very contextual. So I'm gonna take the scenic route to get there. But if I do not get to the point to say no, or to not get mad when God closed certain doors and I try to manually force them doors open.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, that's a conversation, because people be like, oh no, we can. Prime example. I had a situation, I'm not going to talk about it because it may come back around. Had an opportunity to help somebody set up something. ECAMM, Rodecaster, beautiful conversation. It turns into something else. Boom, 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 boom. I would like to work with you. Boom, 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 boom. Here's my price. And this is not Walt. This is the 2024 version. I'm normally not this way. But I say, you know what? I value my time. And I've refused. Here comes the first challenge of the year. I will not go back on what I said I was going to do this year. Here's the price. I didn't offer a discount. I didn't offer nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't hesitate. I didn't offer nothing. And I said, it is what I'm good. If you say yes, hey. If you say no, hey. Because I've already walked away from this. So I'm like, but I can't go no lower than this. So y'all messed up and let this little lady, I ain't gonna talk about her from South Carolina, and put a number in my mind and do something for me a couple of years ago over the pandemic. I was like, I'm worth what? Oh shoot, say less. Yesterday's price is not today's price. And not because of an egocentrical type thing. It's just that when you get to a place and you truly understand the value that you provide, it's like never settle for less than that. And so I was like, okay, cool. I don't know what your budget is, whatever, but I let it go. It is what it is. No, I didn't. And I was like, hey, if it doesn't work for you, let me know when it does. And I literally, because normally the old Walt would be like, well, you know, we can go. Because I didn't know that on January the 22nd, 2024, that somehow we was going to venture in this ECAMM world on YouTube, have a conversation, start talking about marriage and divorce, and Flo is going through a divorce now. I didn't know that. I didn't know that there may be something that we may say that could potentially help her, that could potentially help anybody. Guarantee you, had that situation worked out the way it was supposed to, and the old Walt would have found a way to be like, man, that's a nice payday. I need that. I got a couple of things. I'm trying to get this new, you know, that Sony ZV-E10 Mark II fearing to come out, you know, and I'm like, man, let me go on. Diana Gladney just posted about this Sony 15 millimeter that I'll be like, dang, I ain't even know they made that. I can switch that out instead of the Sigma 16 millimeter. Shoot, you know, DJI mic just came out with them new mic tools, boy, you know, and Mackie got that new DLZ mini. I'm up. Already in my mind, I'm processing like, boom, the iPad Mini 4 Pro or the new joint, they finna drop, you know, and I already start processing. And so it's like, no, I'm good. Because I prioritize not just my value, but as I said earlier, there's an audience assigned to your voice. When you become aware of the assignment, you become accountable to that. When you become aware of the assignment, you become accountable to that. So I'm accountable to y'all. I'm accountable to the people that watch me. I'm accountable because you have a need and you have to show. So now I got to make sure I don't get burnt out. I got to make sure I structure my life in a way because it matters. I got to structure my life in a way because now it gives me an opportunity to say, man, I was thinking about having a conversation about this, that, and the third. About some things in life. And I think some of those things could help Flo. And Flo, I want to go back to something you said. You said, I got stuck from 7 months of no growth I'm taking a break to reevaluate my category. And I think that's good, but I'm going to challenge you with something. Do what I'm doing now. Talk about being stuck.
Mm.
Like, I think sometimes and I'm not saying you, Flo, I think we overthink. There's a that is a category. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. Figure out what your category is. Figure out where your audience is, how to specifically reach them, what it is that you want to talk about, and how we can get to them. But in the midst of that, so you can still be building up your chops, because we still got to show up to work. We still got to show up to work. We still got to be athletes. We still got to be farmers. We still got to be good soldiers. So we got to have a vision of victory. We have to have a hope for a harvest, and then we have to have this thirst and this desire for winning, and all that comes through discipline, and all of that comes through determination, and that comes from the consistency we're talking about just showing up. Like, you literally, I don't know what to talk about. Hit that button, go live, y'all. It's January 22nd, 8:24. I have no clue what to talk about. These are the things that interest me. I would love to talk about this, and then I would love to talk about that. And I'm trying to figure out what category I feel. Anybody else, do y'all feel like that? Somebody in the chat. Oh yeah, I feel like this, and boom, 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 boom. Okay, I'm gonna send you a link. Come on, let's talk about it. It sounds simple. It sounds crazy, and not to throw that word around loosely, but you'd be surprised how mountains started from the smallest mustard seed of a random. I happened to go live. I could have easily said, I got one person watching. Okay, one person disappeared. I got two people watching. Okay, two people disappeared. I'm like, man, I ain't been live in a minute. People ain't seen me in a minute. Okay, I got to get this algorithm back in my favor. Face looking crazy, ain't got no haircut, skin doing all kind of crazy stuff because it's the wintertime. I ain't on my water like I'm supposed to be, so I don't know how I'm looking in the light, this, that, and the third. My other light over there done died. Blue light hanging on for this. It don't matter. We just gonna roll with it. I'm like, okay, settle yourself. Well, what's gonna make me stay up here at least 20 minutes? This right here. I don't care if I'm losing the game, just pull it out. Because one thing I know how to do is talk. And I'll talk until I see somebody show up. And Judy was the first person. All I saw was Jay, and she said, hey. And I was like, hey, hello, Jay. How are you? Who are you? Tell me where you're watching from. Boom. Here comes Judy. Judy starts talking. Boom. Here comes Steve. Steve starts talking. Boom. John is like, oh my God, Casper is here. I'm seeing a ghost. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Boom. Here comes Flo. Here comes David. Here comes everybody. And so going back to this burnout thing, man, I challenge. First of all, I encourage everybody, just if you're getting burned out, it's worth whatever you're doing is worth it. Whatever it is that is causing you quote unquote grief, whatever your hard thing is worth it. We just got to figure out, okay, where am I off balance? Like we was talking about the balance of being married to things we want to do and things we don't want to do with Steve. It's like, where am I off kilter? What am I saying yes to that I should say no to? And what'll happen is you will have more time to go to sleep, bro. You're going to have more time just to sit back and be like, look at the ceiling and be like, man, I never noticed that acrylic spray up there. You just going to have time to breathe. And when you have time to breathe, you'll have time to create. You'll have time to create. Don't let this thing become a job. I know a lot of y'all follow Think Media. Everybody follows Think Media. I think that was he won't talk. I'm not going to say he won't talk about it, but I think that was a big thing. I think there's a pivot coming in Think Media. I think people better get ready for it. What else is there left for them to do? Now, I know they have a goal. I think it's like either 10, I think it's 100,000 people, like helping them. Either it's 10,000 or 100,000 help, whatever their tagline is, helping them become full-time like creators. But what is the exit strategy? I mean, like, we can sit here and talk about cameras and stuff. It's always going to be a new camera. It's always going to be a new light. It's always going to be a new microphone. But I'm like, bro, at what point? Like, come on, man. It's like, oh my God. Because it's Sean at some point has got to be like, I don't want to do this forever. Like, I want to do more of the coaching. And so I think you're going to see more personalities start to take, and I think he's kind of focused more on the podcasting side. I think that's more the pivot we're starting to see. Because I'm not gonna say it's burnout, but I think it's like, I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do something else. Or I want to do more. I want to help people. I don't care about a camera. Their algorithm is so crazy now. It's just, it takes care of itself. The money it's not an issue of money anymore. We've built the channel up to a point where it can survive on its own. I think that's what you saw with Omar. When Omar, and I say because I cannot pronounce Omar's last name, but when Omar, it's not like he left Think Media. I just think it's like he pivots to say, okay, this is what I want to do. The department is what I want to do. I want to talk about the things that really matter. And in the midst of that, I can show y'all my podcast setup. I can show you the camera that I have. I can show you more. Absolutely, Flo. Like, he's talking more about faith. Like, Omar is doing that. Sean is doing that. I'm like, something's coming. Because everybody, your stove has a life on its pilot. At some point, it's going to go out. And the question is, do I replace the pilot, and find a way to relight it? Do I replace the whole stove? Do I sell the whole house? Do I get rid of it? Like, at some point, everybody is like, okay, what's, and this goes back to the conversation me and Steve started with. Like, we can start here, but if there's an opportunity to pivot, do I take the pivot, or do I stay loyal to this audience that no longer serves me? Because it takes two. Just like we're talking about marriage. I had to understand how to receive, but my wife had to understand how to deliver, and vice versa. We both had a responsibility in give, take, deliver, receive, because that affects perception and perspective and all these different things that can enhance, boost, or tear down a relationship. Where in the same way you have a relationship with your customer base. Which is why a lot of times I don't talk about cameras on my channel like that, because there's always going to be a new camera. And all y'all going to do is ask, well, which one is the better one? The one you don't use. Because if you pay attention, John, I guarantee you most of the people that if you go look at their channels, they don't do nothing. Be like, so what are you asking for?
Yeah.
Steve, again, not nothing against you. Man, I'm waiting. For what? Like, how much time you think we got? Like, what are you waiting for? Like, put a date on it. Like, okay, start today. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. I don't have the lights. Who cares? Go outside. The sun is shining. You got the biggest light source. It's free. You got a phone. Your phone call. You got a $1,200 phone. It's got a microphone and a camera on it, and it looks pretty darn good. I mean, it's good. It's good. Matter of fact, we on YouTube. We talking about tech. Y'all have probably heard of Ozbot or whatever, but
yep.
So maybe I shouldn't say this live, but I'm gonna say it. So Ozbot had reached out to me a while ago, and I don't know if I ignored it or what. Maybe I just didn't pay attention. Conversation comes back around. I was like, I don't want one unit. What I need one unit for? I don't do anything with one unit. I say every video you have is just somebody pulling out this little camera. This is a tail there. They pull this out. They go through all the features. And that's it. They don't do nothing. I mean, they may show you how nobody cares. How it look. How does it look? What is the image quality? And she said, well, how would you use it? I said, most of the things I do is events. And it's multi-cam production. So if you can't send me 3 of them, I don't want it. I got a box today with 3 of these and all the accessories. Because I'm not, yeah. They were going to send me 1 unit. I was like, no. If the way I use this, the way if you want me to do a video, I'm going to do a video with this as in a live environment. I want to see. I don't care about what kind of video marketing material you got on your website. That's a bunch of crap. I'm going to take this in the real world. I'm not going to sit at my desk and put this up here in the perfect condition. No, I'm going to take this in a church. I'm going to take this to a venue. I want to take this to a wedding. I want to take this to a sporting event or something. I want to put this to the limit to see, okay, how would I potentially use this? Because I only want to sell something, promote something that it's like I can really, 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 really utilize. Because I know my audience is going to hold me to that. I got another product. I cannot show y'all. I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna show y'all this right here. This is all I can show you. I cannot show you the front, but I'm gonna show you this right here. You will see this. This is the 22nd. Towards the end of February. And because the release date is in March. But I cannot, John, I lied to you not. God is my witness. I was having a conversation and I was like, man, like I need to do A, B, and C. Because I wanted to get quick. Again, if I can't do it the way I want to do it and I can be quick and dismiss myself from it, I don't want to do it no more. So even with live events and stuff, because I do a lot of live production, I'm like, I need to be able to get in, get out quicker, get in, get out quicker, get in. So I'm sitting here like, going through rat cases. I got this huge rat case over here that I'm like, dang, I done went through all the trouble, figured out and all this crazy stuff. I get an email, boom, pop, 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 pop. I'm like, okay, man, y'all already got a bunch of videos about that. I don't want that. They were like, no, we got something new we gonna sing. And I was like, well, send that right now. Cause send that right now, cause that's finna make life easier. Now, granted, I want Rode. I think y'all should do a better job. I'm saying it right now. So for all of my people that know Rode, y'all need to do a better job of working with micro creators. I don't care about these people with 50,000 subscribers. I love them. I love them all. And I talk to them on a regular basis. But there's some of us out here that y'all need to stop slipping. Don't treat us like we little just because the numbers reflect that. We not little. We don't have little channels. We got big influence, yo. But and I love all my people, but I refuse. I'm in a relationship with my audience, and so I'm not gonna sell myself short for y'all. I'm not gonna sell myself any shorter than I already have as it relates to time. I'm definitely not about to sell my soul so I can be let me not say that. I want to be a Sony artisan one day, but I'm not that pressed. I want, for them to send me the Sony A7 IV when it come out. Now, I know really the only way that's going to happen, well, let me not say that. The best way for that to happen is for me to just start pushing out tons and tons and tons and tons of camera content. I have enough gear to be able to do that, and it can be authentic to me. But if it's not going to serve you all, you know what I'm saying? Well, and I can be honest, and I'm not going to burn myself out or get crazy, I'm not going to do it. And so because why? Because I'm in a relationship, I'm in a marriage, and it takes two. And so again, shout out to Sean. Shout out to Think Me. I forgot the girl that they were working with. I can't think of her name, but when she left, she kind of pivoted to the podcast side, and then she bounced. I think she was focused on homeschooling. I cannot think of her name right now, but and I think that was during the pandemic. I don't think a lot of people know this, but I think she's been gone for like a year and a half, 2 years. Because I think it gets to a point where it's like, bro, I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm good. I don't want to do this anymore. And just think, we've been talking for an hour, 39 minutes. So
yeah, you said you got like 30 more minutes.
Bro,
whoa.
You know what I'm saying? So to Flo, to whoever that is watching this, whoever will watch the replay, or whatever, it seems like you have nothing to talk about. You have everything to talk about. And I don't know. And some people are afraid to get personal. It's up to you. Everything is content. Every content. Everything is content. She said now she's staring back into singing. Sing. Be TikTok famous. Be TikTok. If you're gonna sing, I would say be TikTok famous. Because TikTok is gonna give you the biggest boost. And y'all gotta go watch the interview. Speaking of Omar, that he just did with this lady, talking about building personal brands, and she was saying he asked her if you were starting a brand right now, which platform would you choose? And she said TikTok. And he said, why TikTok? Because it gives you the most growth. She said, no, it gives you the best space and opportunity. Forgive me if I'm saying this wrong. I want to say she said something to the effect of to be authentic, to find the authentic version of you or whatever, something to that effect. And I just thought that was really dope because I started to think about the platform and I was like, yeah, she's pretty right. And what did she literally say? She said, just set up the phone and hit the button and start talking. She said, just start talking. Like literally just start talking. And I tell people that all the time. You can sit here and you can watch Think Media all day. You can watch me all day. You can watch Tom Buck all day. You can watch, I draw a blank when I start calling out people's channels. You can watch John's channel all day. You can watch Steve's interview all day. You can watch Joe Rogan all day. You can watch all of these people. Fro Knows Photo. You can watch all of these people all day. But eventually, you're going to get fat off of being a consumer.
Yep.
And it's like, yo, what are you going to do with everything you've been watching? You're going to be one of those people that say, man, yeah, Roadcaster 10 is coming out. To like, yo, like the original came out in like 2018, 2017. They're like, you haven't done anything? Nah, man, I've been waiting. I'm waiting for, the Roadcaster 11 is about to come out, and man, that thing is going to be dope. Like, we won't even need microphones by then. The 11? There's no, like, what? Like, come on, man. It's just, be true to yourself. We've talked about a lot. We've said a lot. We've gone across, a whole lot of different things. But I think if nothing else, as it relates to this concept of marriage and being married, biggest lesson I learned out of being married that is carried over into content creation is be honest with yourself. Be honest. Don't lie. Be honest, and don't weaponize your honesty. Don't weaponize your honesty to try to hurt somebody. And when you get to the point and you have to say enough is enough and walk away and grieve. So Flo, if it takes you 7 months, take the 7 months. Now I say, you talk about, things in the middle, but if that's not healthy for you, don't do that. Don't put anything on yourself that's going to put you in an unhealthy place, but just, do what's necessary for you to get back to a place where you can be clear, concise, and consistent. That's not just with content, that's with life. Clear, concise, and God. I feel like God put me on this earth to do 3 things: create, inspire, and solve. That's me in a nutshell. That's my brand. Create, inspire, and solve. That's what I do. In a lot of ways, that creation happens in a lot of ways, that inspiration happens in a lot of ways, and solutions happen in a lot of ways. But my whole life fits into one of those 3 categories. Some days it's all 3, some days it's just 1. And some days I'm just me. Some days I go to sleep. Like, today was crazy. I had no intentions on getting on this camera and talking to y'all today. I had intentions on clocking out at 5 o'clock, then getting in the bed because I was tired. It's been a day. We had as soon as I signed in this morning, major system outages at work. I'm like, man, what in the world is going on? And I've been talking to people all day. So a lot of times I think sometimes if y'all see me absent, and I tell people this because my friends that are close to me, they be like, Walt, I ain't gonna answer the phone. I'm not. I'm like, bro, you better catch me. You better know when to catch me, because I'm like, I've been talking to people all day. I don't want to talk to nobody. And I'm really more of an introvert than people believe that. Like, there are people that really don't believe. I'm like, no, I'm dead serious. I hate to use the word code switch. I just know how to show up when I need to show up, And so, but I said, the only time I draw energy from other people is times like these. And I will say those are the things that I missed. Kirk Nugent, Alicia Way, Marshall Fox, Doc Rock, all of those people, man, when it was just like Keith and Dave, and when it was just like, yo, everybody just going ham. Like, you go from one person's stream to another person's stream. You jump from one interview to the next interview, and that's community, you know, and you draw energy from that, and you just sit back and you're blown away, and you go back and watch the replays and be like, man, he said what? I said what? We did what? That wasn't even supposed to be something. How did that turn into anything? You know, and some of the most beautiful conversations will come out of that. I'm going to go back, and I no longer, I'm not going to try to rebrand this as anything. I'm going to leave it just as it was. I mean, I might put up a thumbnail or something and be like, what we talked about, but it doesn't have to be perfect to be perfect. That's my motto going into this year. It doesn't have to be perfect to be perfect. Because what's perfect to me, what's imperfect to me could very well be crazy to somebody else. I can sit here and be like, I don't like this angle. I wish this light was this. I wish this was this. And you'd be surprised how many people sit here and they will just be like, all right, I don't want to shoot no more. Wait a minute. What happened to all of this stuff you wanted to do, Steve? Yeah, but the light is not giving the right color temperature. Bro, who cares? Nobody. No. That might be my first book release. Like, because honestly, that's like, nobody cares. Like, nobody cares. Like, it's only the people who aren't creators that think people care. Once you start creating, you will find out nobody cares. The only thing I tell people you should care about is audio.
Yeah.
People will forgive bad video. People don't care, because the social media is proof of that. But audio, and the reason I say this, and even more people, as long as they can hear you, they can understand. But when we get into this thing of clear, pristine, like radio broadcast quality audio, I'm always thinking repurposing. So I'm like, yo, if I know this is gonna get processed 1,000 different times because it's either gonna get shared, downloaded, or repurposed or whatever, I want to make sure everything is great up front. So I want to make sure that I can take this, and if I'm doing a podcast later, I can say, yo, this particular episode, I want to take y'all back into a conversation I had. This was very random, but we dropped some gems in here. Listen to this. Boom. Audio is good. I ain't got to worry about it. You know, so that's where I get into the audio thing. But honestly, I tell people, my first podcast episode was in my car. Either your car or your closet is the best poor man's studio in the world. And I ain't going to say poor man's, because rich or poor, it's still probably one of the best spaces on my phone. And nobody knew. And somebody also thought I was talking to somebody. They were like, well, who are you interviewing? I was like, myself. They're like, you talk to yourself? I was like, yeah. And I answered and I responded. Because that's how I built my chops. That's how I built my chops, to get to a point where I can just sit here and run my mouth and wait for y'all to tell me to shut up for a whole hour and 48 minutes. So now it's just like, if you don't tell me, then be like, Walt, let's redirect. I can go, because I spent so much time. I do it now. I have tons. I get in the car and I turn on the camera, or I turn on my voice recorder, and I just talk. And I just talk about, either I talk about what's on my mind, or if I don't script out my videos anymore, because I talk through them. This is what I will do. And I only do this because I'm going to start handing off stuff to editors. Because going back to what John said, I can't go through this burnout stuff no more. I don't want to do that no more. So I have no problem getting in front of the camera and knocking it out. And I'm a one-take quitter. I don't want no teleprompter. It's going to slow me down. I don't want to read nothing because I don't want to be rehearsed. I'm not trying to sound like a corporate wet training. I am me. My audience shows up for me. Are there times where I will approach something a little bit different? Yes, but my personality is going to shine every time I touch a microphone. I know what to say to who and who not to say to what, but I'm like, you're going to get the same version of Walt every single time you see Walt. So if I tell people that I said, yo, like if you come to church, you can see me do something crazy. You be like, bro, like, yeah. Didn't you see me on the stream the other night? Like it was really good. Like this is the version of me you're gonna get. But I'm going to show up the same way. And so I want to make sure that I can speak whatever language it is that I need to speak to the audience that's watching. But my personality, you're gonna get that. You're gonna get that 100%. But I'm talking. I'm talking. I don't script nothing. So if I decide, let's see, let me see. I'll tell y'all the first video I'm going to put out is either going to be about the mainstream. No, the odds I got to run that through the mud. So the odds spot can't be the first video. I take that back. The first video is gonna be a question. When I wrote it down, it's gonna be a comment. I gotta respond to something. I gotta answer something. But here's the thing. I won't write it down. I'll talk through it. I've rehearsed that video and gone through it in my mind. Because if I don't know it, and this is how I know when I'm burnt out, John, and we're approaching 2 hours, so I'll give y'all 10 minutes or less. If I hit the record button and I start talking, and it takes me more, and I stumble 3 times, I walk away. Because I mean, I don't want it. I don't know it. I can't speak for nobody else, but I know for me and my process, if I fumble through that intro, or what I call the pre-intro, and I fumble through it, and it's like, okay, one time it's like, okay, let me say that differently. I get to the second time, it's like, I get to that third time, and I walk away from it. Because normally it's boom. And I'm not one of those people that say press record and just keep it going and go back and chop it later. Don't do it too much time. If I'm gonna edit, I want the edit to be quick. So if you follow my formula, if you follow my channel, you know how I create videos. So I always do a pre-intro, boom, little low. I won't even necessarily do the logo intros or stings or whatever I used to do, but it would be pre-intro and then logo sting. That's number 2. Number 3 would be, yo, what's good, party people? Thanks for tuning into another channel. You know what I'm saying? It's first time here. Thanks for showing up. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And while you're at it, click that bell to get notified every single time I post a new content to the channel. But let's get into today's topic. Boom. Now let's get into context. I'm contextual. Most people say, well, you can't be contextual on YouTube because people don't care. Screw what you say. I don't care. You got thumbnail, you got channel markers. If you want to skip to another part of the video, hit that. My audience knows me. I'm going to be contextual. I can't help it. When I've tried to be short, it does not work. So let me be myself. I'm going to give you context because I love the A7. That's the A64. I love the A7 IV. I don't care about the specs that don't have anything to do with what I do. So I'm not going to sit here and just run down. No, I'm going to tell you how I use this and why I think this is the best camera if you're a hybrid creator. So if you do photos and videos, I think this is the best thing for you to get by. For this simple switch right here, that I can switch between photo, video, boom, 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 and I can do a whole job and I ain't never got to switch bodies, I ain't never got to switch a lens. Boom, I got dual SD cards and I can do all of that literally probably a 2-hour event off of one battery, and let's keep it moving. And let's go. That's how I'm going to talk about it. And then, so I'm gonna have context, and then I'm gonna give you content number 1, content number 2, content number 3, if it's necessary. I'm gonna give you my conclusion. Boom, we out of there. End screen, let's go. That's if I can't do that in one take, I don't want it. I'm not the B-roll guy. I love it when I see other people that I was like, now I find myself fussing at videos like, get to the point. And I'm like, I know people be saying that to me. I'm like, nobody cares. Only people who don't create care, because nobody uses the gear like that anyway. You're not even doing that type of work. That's spec work. I don't do spec work. I would love to one day, but that's not. I'm a live event guy, so I don't care nothing about B-roll. I don't care nothing about that. My B-roll is live. That's my B-roll. I got to create live B-roll, you know. So I'll talk about how we use Hollyland, for wireless transmission and all of that, and how you run that into the ATEM, because that's what people want to care about. How do I make my live stream sound better? How do I get this audio? How do we do that? That's my philosophy. That's how I run, and it's like clockwork. Why? Because I do it all the time. If you look at the storage on my phone, other than photos and videos, it's notes and voice memos. Because I have tons and tons and tons and tons. I will never run out of content thanks to y'all. I'm always talking, always rehearsing. So now
you know your audience.
That's it. I learned that first. That is why that's my biggest thing now. When people say, "What do you do?" I help you find the audience assigned to your voice. I'm learning to be concise. It used to be help you build a better brand, grow your business, and create a community around the things you're most passionate about. That's the long version of helping you find the audience assigned to your voice. That's the essence of everything I do. But the short version, so I can get in and get out, the audience assigned to your voice. There's an audience assigned to your voice. You just got to know, number one, who they are and how to find them. That's it. And it's not difficult to find them. Difficult in time, it's subjective. How much time you got? How much work you want to put in? But once I learned that, because early on I started to peep like what people really wanted to know and what I was interested in. Okay, boom, I understand what the pain points are. Never sell yourself short. Treat your content like a business. And when it comes to business, think brand first, don't think business. So when I say brand, don't think product or service, think people. People don't buy products, they buy people. They do not buy products, they buy people. When you are looking for something new, first thing you do is go look at reviews or you ask somebody.
That's a fact. I don't buy anything without a review.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If I go to Amazon right now, I'm like, if it's not something I know, and I'm one of those people, I will watch. That's why I love YouTube so much. By the time I buy something, I've done watched 100 videos on it. Because I want to know how are you using it? What's going on? I will wait to see, somebody use it like I use it. And so I want to provide that to other people. So once you learn your audience, Steve, you can do whatever you want to do. If you want to just have an all-out comedy interview one day, let's go for it. Because it's like that's Steve, flow, whatever you decide you want to do, Judy, whatever you decide. If you want to be Judge Judy, if you want to take Judge Judy's place and be like, hey, I'm here now, you can do that, and so it's just, I was putting out an episode every week for 7 months and been on a break for about a month and a half. Okay, cool. Yeah. But people buy, if y'all don't remember anything else I said tonight, people buy people. And the easiest way, the way I teach people is no matter what you're quote unquote selling, people hate when they're being sold to. They know it. So just be authentic and just be upfront. And it's kind of like insurance. There is nothing sexy about insurance. Nothing. But you got to have it. Whether it's life,
everybody needs it.
Everybody needs it. Whether it's auto, life, medical, whatever. It's not sexy, but you need it. And it's like, man, why I got to pay some money? I ain't been sick the whole year. Yeah, you ain't. But that one time you do get sick, you're going to be glad you got that insurance.
Yep.
Well, companies understand this, especially the auto insurance companies. So what did they do over the last decade, 15, really more like 2 decades? Geico really was kind of the first, but they put a face to the brand. They gave the business a personality that people could relate to. So all we had was the Geico and the pig. Wee! And the freaking gecko and that pig. And then we ended up with Flo from Progressive and Jake from State Farm and Shaq with the General and my man, I can't think of his name, but the All-State guy from Love and Basketball and all these different personalities. And now State Farm has turned into this whole thing. Liberty with Emu, and now they turned into this whole, now we have the competition of like, who's gonna get the most people to sign up. Because what happens is when it comes time for me to think about insurance, I don't so much think about the insurance. I think about the characters and the personalities that have been pushed in my face. So whether I've ever been with State Farm or not, I'll consider State Farm because I saw Jake. I'll consider Progressive because I saw Flo. They might not even have the best rate, but they understand the science of people and they understand what makes people tick. This is the part where I'm coming out with that ebook. And so just like you put a date on it, Steve, what's the date?
Yeah.
Today is the 22nd. If I finish, let's see. You said the 10th, February, I'm going to say February 1st. February 1st, y'all, you'll see something on my community page or just my channel about it. Whatever, I'll push that out. Well, February the 1st, no later than February the 1st. So it may be before then, no later than February the 1st. Because it's pretty much, I just got a couple of more things I got to do to it. But once we figured out all of these other things that really are kind of not even important. Once I've determined the personality and what really makes my audience tick, it's like that's what becomes my focus. Gear and everything else takes care of itself. And the number one issue I see with people, whether it's podcasting, content creation, whatever, is that they don't want to focus on the things that aren't tangible. So this foundation piece that we've been talking about marriage and understanding your audience and how to build, quote unquote, customer profiles and personas. So you start to understand, okay, who do I want as an audience? You do have the ability to say, okay, granted, I need to be creating content for my audience, but who do I want as an audience? Do I want the person that's rushing me because they want to see, you know what I'm saying, the specs, or do I want the person that appreciates context? Well, what type of person appreciates context? Where do they live? What are their work? What is their background? How are they raised? Where do they shop? Do they have kids? What kind of car do they drive? What's the neighborhood that they live in? Do y'all understand that companies spend trillions of dollars on marketing and advertising and figuring out what music to play in malls? Why they put bananas at the front of the store because they're yellow, why certain things are in certain places to make you buy more, to shop more, to make you forget, why you can walk in freaking Target with one thing on your mind and walk out and you don't spend everything.
Yep.
Like, can you imagine if Amazon had the infrastructure that Walmart or Target does? Oh my God. But it's not possible because their product base is too wide. It ain't enough suppliers to even do something like that. So even when that's why their small little brick and mortar stores didn't work. So they said, okay, forget that. We'll go Amazon Fresh and we'll focus on the food market side because that's easy. Grocery stores have existed forever, and so we will deal with distributors as it relates to food. But as it relates to products, bro, there are only so many Sony cameras. There are only so many Rode microphones. Like there's not enough supply to meet that type of demand. So it's like, okay, we can't do what we were thinking. So Walmart, I'm no longer trying to compete with you in that regard. But I'm coming for these grocery stores. I'm coming for you. And you can just check out from the cart. Oh man, that's life. I'm coming for you. But they understand the audience. Those are the conversations people don't want to have. But those are the conversations that make you rich. Those are the conversations that make sure that your podcast end up on news and noteworthy. That Apple puts their machine behind it. That iHeartRadio puts their machine behind it. That Spotify puts their machine behind it to say, oh no, they mean business. They've done work. They've done work to figure out how to speak to the heart of their audience. And you're good. And because the thing is, they're going to be your evangelist, brand evangelist. They're going to be your employees. They're going to work for you. So now they're going to go, yo, you got to listen to Steve's podcast, man. This is, wow. Yo, are you into podcasting? Yeah. What do you listen to? Man, the exemplar effect. Like, yo, you gotta listen to this. Like, change my life. Boom, there you go. They work for you now. You've done all the hard work trying to find what we call, quote unquote, your street team. That's not your family or friends. Because that can always go north or south. So we ain't going to give them that today. But, that's good. But I wouldn't rely on that. But that first 10 to 20 people that's really with you. Oh man, there's
They stay with you.
Yes, that Judy said I subscribed 2 years ago.
See, wow.
You summed that up perfectly, John. 2 years ago. And Judy, you ended up here. I don't even know. You ended up here knowing that I know in the last 2 years, I know I haven't been consistent. So how you ended up here, I don't know. You got to be paying attention because most people, the algorithm doesn't even work like that. They be like, bro, I didn't know you was live. Because they ain't seen you in so long because they paying attention to somebody else. So that's how it works. That's how it works, man. So structure put systems in place. Do the hard work up front to find out your audience, discover what their pain points are. Discover what makes them tick. Discover what their pain points are. If you discover the pain points first, you will always know how to fix their problems. If you're a solutions expert, you'll be quote unquote in business for the rest of your life. You'll never go broke. And when I say broke, depending on what your currency is, subscribers may be your currency, monetization may be your currency, conversation may be your currency, or just fulfillment of being able to help somebody may be your currency, but you will never be broke. You put those systems in place that allow you to be consistent doing that so you can prevent burnout. So you're not going these long streaks of time walk without being able to talk or show up for your audience. And then you do it to the point to where it just becomes automatic. It becomes routine, not from the standpoint of you're numb and you're just going through the motions, but it becomes routine to the standpoint of it gives you breathing room to pivot and to do other things, but remain authentic. And either that means bring other people on and allow other people to assist so that you can replicate yourself or whatever in your business and allow the system to keep going. Or, it's just, you say, hey, maybe it's just time to do something else. But at the end of the day, you will be able to go to sleep at night and be cool. And your audience will be cool. And maybe you get so lucky, I don't know if we'll ever see it, but maybe they'll sell Think Media. I think in the next 5 years, you're going to see something crazy happen. And I think it may be sooner than that. I think that's a realistic thing where they could potentially sell the channel. I don't know because I don't know what their goals are. But the way I see them moving, I very well could see them selling the channel. And that would be extraordinary. I could see Mr. Beast no, because he just signed a deal with Amazon, like $100 million or something like that.
Sheesh.
Yeah, $100 million he started his first TV show. Crazy. His first. Well, you can't say Amazon is cable network. I mean, he's done it. I guess people don't respect YouTube yet. It's like shows, but I'm like, they say his first TV show, but like, yeah, $100 million deal getting ready to sign. Just being himself from little old Greenville, North Carolina. Yeah.
The thing is, he gives away a lot of money too.
Yeah.
And he gets a lot of money.
Absolutely. So you get what you give, but and that's true to your audience. I mean, y'all would be surprised at the number of gems I don't even think we realize. Like, I think sometimes you become so autopilot and talking so much that it's like, I was going back looking at content from like 10 years ago the other day on a hard drive I found. I was like, I said that. Wow. I didn't even think I was in the space to even say something like that at that time in my life. You never know. But I will say, man, listen, 2 hours and 8 minutes. That's what I'm talking about, yo. to start from literally picking up this controller, being like, let's just see what's happening, to talking to Steve, man, and setting dates and helping people, just get back on track, and John jumping in and absolutely, man, like, y'all, if you need any assistance, consumer, prosumer, professional, whatever, holler at John. Because I ain't got time. I'm gonna be doing something else, and I ain't even gonna lie to you. Holler at John, man. Definitely has some great things going. And Steve, I believe your podcast is, I believe just because you put a date to it and you said February the 10th, man, that's gonna be legiondary.
It's happening. Thank you, Walt. I appreciate it, bro.
Absolutely, man.
John,
I
thank
can't
you,
wait
man.
to
Is your
see.
contact in the chat down there, John?
Yeah, it's just my my channel. All of my
Awesome.
handles are on my channel.
I'll hit you up, bud. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, but I appreciate y'all, man. All of y'all that's watching, you know what I'm saying? I love y'all. I'm coming back February the 5th.
There we go.
Oh, snap. Okay, Flo.
February 5th.
February that month. Yeah. Jay, Judy. You know what? We ain't gonna put no pressure on Judy. I'm not gonna pressure her, but Judy, we're gonna come back to you. We're gonna come back to you. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna go live again. I'm gonna touch base with you, Judy. I'm gonna go live again, and we're gonna have this conversation live, and then we're gonna put a date on you. But I appreciate y'all absolutely coming through. Definitely. I'm not gonna say sometime soon. We're gonna keep this thing going. We're gonna keep this thing going, and yeah, let's make it great. Again, if you don't remember nothing else I said tonight, people buy people. People buy. I don't care what you go. People buy people. So at the end of the day, start of the day, middle of the day, be yourself. There's an audience assigned to your voice. Your voice, it has weight. It carries weight. It's powerful. It's valuable. You have a lot to say. And whether it's one person or it's a million people, somebody wants to hear what it is that you have to say. Your voice matters. But I love y'all. Y'all be easy. I will holler at y'all next week. Same time, someday. I'll put the announcement out of what day this will be recurring. Maybe Monday, but either way, I'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Thank you.
You're up.
All right, bro. Appreciate you, man.